Hi folks, welcome to Midlife Motorcycle Diaries. Today's vlog is totally different to the previous ones I put up. For those who've been following us from the very start, you'll realise or you'll notice that our channel was created specifically for couples who ride bikes. More particularly couples who came to biking late, and the idea was that Sue and myself would document our adventures on two wheels. And we're still going to do that, but today's one is slightly different. Today's video I've dug back into the archive. For those who watched the very first one, you'll probably remember that in 2010 I took a year out. It's basically a year out to fulfill one of my dreams, which is to ride the Pan American Highway from Alaska to Argentina and do it solo. So this video is, I kind of dusted it off because at the time of my trip I did write a blog. I did record some video footage, but to be honest, I didn't really do anything with it. And I think it was a shame for it to languish in the vaults without sharing the experiences, in the hope that maybe it might inspire some of you to get out and get on and do your own two-wheeled adventures, on the basis that if I could do this, then pretty much anybody can, because my knowledge and skills were pretty basic and limited. With that in mind, here's a warning before you watch the video. I'm still attempting to learn this craft, but back in those days I really hadn't got a clue what I was doing, and I had the most limited tools and technology available to me. So some of the footage is a little bit ropey, so I hope you'll bear with me and forgive me for that. You know, I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, then please give us a thumbs up or subscribe or share the video and send us your questions or observations or feedback. But in the meantime, it might be a good idea now to put the kettle on, grab yourself a coffee, sit back and watch my adventures down the Dalton Highway in Alaska. Until next time, enjoy.
I've been on the road for 6 hours non-stop, and that has to be the most demanding, challenging riding I've ever done in my life.
So in June 2010, I flew to Anchorage in Alaska, negotiated the release of my bike from customs after a lengthy affair, finally got it uncrated, and then my plan was to head north to Prudhoe Bay and the Arctic Ocean, having first, of course, weaned myself off my favourite Alaskan eatery. It was heading north all the way to the first stop in Fairbanks, which is about 360 miles away. So the journey begins.
So I'd stopped for a quick coffee, and saw this beautiful restaurant, so it was too good to miss. This is the Sunshine Cafe. Apparently it's under new management. I can't think why. Here we go. Cantwell Sunshine Restaurant. Time for a quick break. Okay, this is my new friend Nino from El Salvador. He said it's a good place to visit, is that right?
That's right, it's good. You can go up on the East Coast and by the beach. It's pretty nice.
Okay, thanks yeah. Nino, thanks for the coffee.
Well, good luck, yeah.
Arrived in Fairbanks a couple of hours ago, and just got showered and changed, and I was starving hungry, so I walked about 20 minutes down to a little Safeway, which is fantastic, and I'm so starved of proper food, I just couldn't wait to get back to eat it. I needed this, I needed a salad. Perfect. And this is the little hostel that I'm staying in. This is where we have our dinners. Let me just take you to my little cabin that I'm sleeping in tonight. Home sweet home. And there we have it. That's my bed.
Next day, the real adventure started, the 500-mile trip to Prudhoe Bay.
Well, it's 8:30 in the morning, and here I am on the Dalton Highway. There's nobody around for miles and miles and miles. It's me and the Dalton. That's where I'm heading, Atigun Pass. Well, I've made it to the first gas station on the Dalton Highway at junction mile 56. The only petrol for 119 miles, and the last place before Coldfoot, which is where I'm heading, which is another 150 miles or so. It's pretty desolate and bleak, as you can see. Nothing. That's the Alaska pipeline. And pretty much nothing. I've had the road to myself, apart from some trucks. That's the place I'm going to go and pay my gas and get some food because I'm starving. A cup of coffee, and that's it. And this is the desolation of the Dalton Highway.
The Dalton Highway, of course, was made famous by the Ice Road Truckers program on TV. Essentially, it's a 414 miles of dirt, track and mud that heads all the way up to Prudhoe Bay. The only people who use it are the Ice Road Truckers themselves and crazy bikers who want to get to the Arctic Ocean. Anyway, we've got a long way to go, so I think I better twist the throttle and get a move on. One of the problems with Dalton Highway, presumably because it gets regularly hammered by the big trucks, is that they continue having to maintain it, to dig it up and relay it. So you often get stuck in not a traffic jam, but you just have to wait until you get an escort vehicle to take you past the extent of the roadworks, which seems crazy when you've got a bike capable of off-roading, but that's health and safety for you.
Well, this is it. Been on the road for 7 hours and here I am. Latitude 66 degrees 33 minutes. Reached the Arctic Circle. There's nobody around. Just me, the bike, actually and quite a few mosquitoes. So I better get the hell out of here.
At times it feels like this road is just never going to stop, and sometimes you've got to be really work hard to keep your concentration because it's a dangerous place.
Well, I just thought I would give you a tour of my little house, my Arctic getaway little cabin here. It's very comfy actually, very homely. The Dalton Highway. So tomorrow I am starting it here, all the way up there to Prudhoe Bay. Getting up for breakfast at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning and getting straight off. And look what we've got for tea. I got some spaghetti and the sauce there, by the way, and even got some parmesan. Fascinating place and fascinating times. I'm quite enjoying it at the moment. So fingers crossed, tomorrow will see me in the top of the world at Prudhoe Bay, end of the Dalton Highway. Well, that's it for tonight. I'm going to get some spaghetti, get an early night, and I will speak to you tomorrow.
There you go. 10 to 12, 10 to midnight. That's still out there like that. Still bright as day, land of the midnight sun.
So from the dust bowl of the dry gravel, I finally reached the Atigun Pass. At 4,800 feet, it's Alaska's highest mountain pass, and it starts to get significantly colder, greyer and wetter. And from here on in, the weather starts to deteriorate pretty rapidly.
About 20 miles from Dead Horse, and I've been riding for about 5 hours now, and boy, it's bleak out here, my god. And it certainly feels like the Arctic Circle because it's freezing. Through over the Atigun Pass, that's 4,800 feet, through the cloud and the rain and the mud, and it's desolate. It feels like the end of the earth. I know it's top of the world. Just take a look. Nothing. The bikes that we were. I've just had to stop to put some petrol in. But it's bleak. I knew the Dalton Highway was going to be something, but I didn't expect this for some reason. I didn't expect it to be so desolate. Just so desolate. It could be in the middle of nowhere. Well, we are in the middle of nowhere. It is bleak. Anyway, I'm going to push on now to Prudhoe Bay and get myself cleaned up because I'm just covered in shit, and that's that.
In the final few miles towards Prudhoe Bay, the weather starts to close in and the visibility drops considerably. So I had to slow down, and in the process I passed a lone biker, the only biker I'd seen for hours and hours and hours. Anyway, turns out to be my future roommate, so more of him later as I finally arrive in Prudhoe Bay.
My god, I've made it to my hotel. I've just showered. It's now 25 to 3. I've been on the road for 6 hours non-stop, and that has to be the most demanding, challenging riding I've ever done in my life. I've ridden through sunshine, beautiful skies, through rain, cloud, fog, visibility down to 40 feet, 50 feet, and then incredibly cold winds in the last 50 miles into Prudhoe Bay. God, it was awful. Absolutely. I'd spend so much time, and the conditions on the road, you got to be up on the pegs, you got to be on your feet to control the bike, and then the back end will slip away, and of course when you're standing up on the pegs and it's raining, I had to keep lifting my visor and cleaning my visor with one hand and try to keep control of the bike with the other hand. God, and it was my idea to do all this stuff. God, it was hard. And then when you get here, it's like nowhere on earth. It's a godforsaken place on the tip of the Arctic Ocean. Nobody would come here unless they were getting paid mega bucks to work here, that's for sure. My God, it's so cold out there. It's unbelievable. So take a look at my little room. This is the dormitory I'm staying in. $125 a night. And this is the view from my room. Can you see there? Let's lift this up here a bit. That's the view from my room. Attractive place, isn't it? My God, what a place. Anyway, I've officially done it. I've ridden to the top of the world, or top of America, and as far as you can go in the States. There is no further to ride, and boy, it feels like it too. In fact, I don't really want to go back. It was such an awful journey up here. I want to stay here, fly back, but my God, I must admit, I didn't think it would be that hard. The good old Dalton Highway. To be repeated tomorrow morning when I go back and reverse the whole process. Roommate, Austin.
From Chicago.
Chicago.
Originally from Dallas.
Okay, Austin, tell everybody how good the ride was today.
Can I use profanity?
You can whatever you want.
It was not fun. It was miserable. Don't ever ride north of Coldfoot. Stop at Coldfoot, turn around, go home.
So you're not coming again?
Not to Prudhoe Bay, no way.
Yeah. And you're heading back. What time are you getting back tomorrow morning?
As soon as I finish breakfast.
Never to see Prudhoe Bay again.
That's correct.
I second that. Welcome to Prudhoe Bay. I'm just on my way to the Arctic tour. It's bloody freezing. It's just a complete shithole. That's the airport over there. The lovely Prudhoe Bay Hotel. Okay, here we have some more roadworks. Very busy traffic. There's my friendly wave to the camera. We've got to wait for the pilot car, so it's somewhere down there. So, how many miles to Weissman from here?
About 2.
2 miles. Almost there. Nearly back home for a shower. Fantastic. Be careful what you wish for. When I started this trip, one of the reasons I wanted to do it was to step out of my comfort zone. And boy, have I ever done that these past 2 days. As you know, yesterday was incredibly challenging getting to Prudhoe Bay. Just the most appalling conditions and weather. And when we got there, we did the Arctic tour, went in the ocean, and then went to bed about 8 o'clock. And my roommate Austin from Chicago, he got up at 3 o'clock this morning. He'd had enough, he had to get out, you know. Poor bugger, he's riding on road tyres. How he managed it over the gravel and mud, I don't know, but he disappeared at 3 o'clock, never seen him since. I got up at 6, hoping that the weather would be better than it was yesterday. Sadly, it proved to be even worse, if that was possible. Bitterly cold and grey and overcast, but I just wanted to put some miles between me and Prudhoe Bay, and the first 50 or 60 miles just on gravel. Spent most of the time stood up on the foot pegs so I can get some traction on the bike, and it was back-breaking stuff, back-breaking, and then bitterly cold. And I've got to admit that 2 things got me through today. 1, my heated jacket, which I bought, and 2, the 2-day off-road skills course that BMW ran in Wales. Without those 2, I probably wouldn't have made it, I'm honest. It was that bad. It started to rain later on. Just when you think it's getting better, it suddenly turns for the worse. And then riding through the Atigun Pass. The Atigun Pass is the highest mountain pass in Alaska. It goes up to 4,800 feet through the mountains. And the cloud came down and the drizzle, and the visibility was probably only about 50 feet at best. So I crawled up there and got to the other side of the pass, thinking the worst is over, and then the heavens opened and it poured down, and it was just pretty awful. So yesterday 6 straight hours riding, today 6 hours riding, 1 stop either way to put some more fuel in out of the reserved can that I carried. So basically I've ridden from here, Anchorage, all the way up to the top of Alaska, across the length of Alaska. Something in total of just short of 1,000 miles probably, and I have to admit it's been a real test of my riding skills, my nerve, my resolve, and most of all my underpants.